You can't run. You can't hide. And you know the effing car won't start 'cause, duh. There's no escape from horrible horror. Movies so bad, they're scary. Survive the next hour with Marshall Hampton and Aaron Southworth, if you dare.
Horror, so bad it's scary. Splitting up is never okay. Plot, who needs it? Don't turn on the lights. Cars don't ever start, but that's alright. Running upstairs instead of out the door. Good acting, what do we need that for? Horrible horror, so bad it's scary. Enjoy the show, but not really.
What's up, Moon Goons? Welcome to Horrible Horror, the podcast where we watch the worst of the worst in horror movies. I'm your host, Marshall Hampton. With me, as always, my co-host, my buddy, Mr. Aaron Southworth. Aaron, how are you doing this evening?
Pretty good.
Oh, nice. That's a good way to.
Yeah, I've been drinking these Natty Lights. Oh,
and that's the theme in this movie.
so many Natty Lights.
So many Natty Lights. So many. So anyway, this week's movie is The Mutilator.
The Mutilator.
It's a 1980. Before we get into that, like I said, we are in our, even though it's now technically April, but we are in the midst of our Horrible Horror March movie madness
Bracket of awfulness.
tournament of awfulness or something like that. Yeah, whatever, whatever we called it. We started round 2 last week, so we're gonna update you with the matchups. So yeah, we start our shitty 16, if you will.
Yes.
The shitty 16. In the first round of the second round, shitty 16 of the Crystal Lake bracket, we had Playing with Dolls, Bloodlust taking on Prom Ride, and in I think it was kind of a close matchup. I'm not sure. Aaron, you kind of tell you.
It was close.
It was close.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but Prom Ride won and is moving on to our epically awful 8
by one vote.
by 1. And then in the second matchup, we had Scarred taking on Krampus, the Christmas Devil.
Now this was amazing. I couldn't believe this.
This is like fucking Loyola here.
Yeah.
Loyola, Chicago, like moving on.
Yeah.
Because I was stumped. Like, I thought for sure, like, Krampus was like my Villanova, my Duke in this tournament, and they just got pounded on by like Loyola, Chicago.
I couldn't believe this. We talked about this a little bit. We're wondering if people are confusing these Adam Scott,
the big budget Krampus movie.
Big budget Krampus, but this is Krampus, the Christmas Devil.
Yeah, this came out like a few years before the theatrical Krampus one
Yes.
did. It was actually pretty decent. This is a really shitty independent straight-to-video Krampus called Krampus the Christmas Devil that I do think people are just seeing Krampus and confusing it with the Adam Scott one.
I agree. Or even the what was the Tale of Christmas, or I forget what the actual title of the one with William Shatner in it, and it has
that's
that Krampus.
Christmas Horror Story.
Christmas Horror Story.
Yeah, but that's not called Krampus.
I know, but it's still. I wonder if people are kind of confusing that as well, because Krampus the Christmas Devil fucking sucks.
It's the worst. I mean, Aaron, if you in our mini episode where we did the brackets, that was our pick to win the whole tournament this year. Was that, and it just got blown out of the water.
But hey, people have spoken.
That's what we leave it up to the listeners and the voters. So, goddamn,
I'm surprised.
Our brackets have just been
busted. Yeah,
crump them up, throw them away.
It's like my fucking work bracket. I picked North Carolina. Boom, out in first round.
Yeah. I think right now the only one that we've had we still have it right so far is Prom Ride. We've had the Prom Ride advancing this far.
Going good.
So there it is. Scars moving on. The next 2 matchups in the Crystal Lake bracket, we'll see Swamp Ape, which again I was surprised moved on.
Yeah.
Taking on Microwave Massacre.
Now, here's a fun thing. I just posted this before we started, and I'm looking at the results already coming in. There's already 2 votes for Swamp Ape.
All right, just posted, but that's got a long way to go.
That's got a long way to go.
And then the second matchup, closing out the Crystal Lake side, we have the Suckling taking on Santa Claus, and oh boy, that's the round. That's a big pile of shit right there. Big pile of suck. Yeah, and then we'll move over to the Haddonfield bracket after that. So with that said, that's out of the way. Let's move on to this week's main course, The Mutilator.
The meat is The Mutilator.
Yes. This movie actually had numerous release dates, but it was actually filmed in 1983.
Numerous release dates?
Numerous release
You
dates.
may have been released under fall break?
Maybe.
Maybe?
In August of 1984, it was released in I think a limited release in Wilmington, North Carolina, and then in June of 1985, it was re-released. They re-released a recut version nationwide. Then in September of 27th, 1985, they released another version of
Holy
it.
shit.
Or another theatrical
They
release.
mutilated these
Yeah.
releases.
And then January 4th, 1986 was another re-release of, I don't know what the fuck they're doing with this movie, why they can't make up their minds of what's going on, but those are all the release dates this thing has. But yeah, it was originally called Fall Break in the theatrical release, and then they said, fuck it, let's rename the Mutilator
No
for
one
VHS.
likes fall break. Everyone's going to be like, that looks like it sucks. It's like, well, Mutilator! Like, ooh.
It was written by Buddy Cooper and also directed by Buddy Cooper and John Douglas. So we had two directors. The cast, almost everybody in the cast was a one and done person. The main character, Ed Jr., is played by Matt Mittler. He was in movies like The Breeders, Basket Case 2. He did voice work on Pokemon, like the early Pokemon cartoons.
Nice.
And for you old people out there like us, he did 2 episodes of the old Liquid Television.
Fucking love Liquid Television.
Remember Liquid Television?
What was he in Liquid Television? Did it say?
It did. I mean, it said 1 episode, but he just did 2 episodes
I
of
wonder
it.
if he did any voice work for any of the cartoons, or if he was in the weird, like, live action Dog Boy. Do you remember Dog Boy?
Vaguely, yeah.
That
But
was so
I remember
weird.
Liquid Television was so cool. Like, for those of you who actually know what it is.
For anybody who's like, what the fuck is Liquid Television?
like
Check out
MTV,
YouTube.
yeah.
Just go on YouTube and just type in Liquid Television. It's fucking bonkers. It's so good. And that's where Aeon Flux came from.
Yeah.
That's where it got its start. I mean, it's just fantastic.
And
Not that Tharlee Sharon shit, you know. It's like the real Aeon Flux. That's
real one.
great.
Yeah. Let's see. Almost everybody else was one and done. Then we have Frances Raines plays Linda. She had 7 credits, so she's one of the more experienced people out of this cast. She was in Bad Girls Dormitory, and she was also in Breeders. And then the only other person I'm going to mention, just because it comes back and connects to our show, is Ben Moore, who plays the cop in this movie. He only has 5 credits. That's it, 5 but his very first credit was back in 1964, where he played Lester in 2000 Maniacs.
No shit.
He was one of the mayor's 2 stooges in
He
that
had
movie.
5 credits.
5, and we've done 2 of them.
Well, we got to explore his whole body of work now.
So that's it from the cast. Nothing else is worth really mentioning. So the movie itself, we open with a mom in her kitchen preparing a nice birthday cake for her husband. Happy little tranquil piano music's all playing. It's like a Disney fucking cartoon.
I'm waiting for a squirrel to hop on her shoulder
Yeah.
and birds to like help
Start
her
singing and yeah.
like helping her cook. You know, it's so Disney feeling.
It is. It really is. The door behind her swings open and then closes by itself, and then we go to her son, who's in the father's den, which is the room right where we see the door opening, and he's taping a sign to his father's gun cabinet that reads, "Happy birthday, Daddy. All cleaned by me. Yay!"
Yay! I cleaned your weapons of death.
Yeah. His son takes out one of these giant rifles and he starts to clean it.
Big fucking hunting rifles. And dude, he's got a shit ton of rifles.
Yeah,
He's
he does.
got like 12.
Yeah. And the kid, he looks straight down the barrel. He just holds the barrel right in his eye. He looks down it.
Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
Oh, of course. That's gun safety 101. First thing you do is you look down the barrel.
You gotta tell if it's dirty.
Yeah.
You gotta look in the barrel, right?
So he looks down the barrel, and then he holds it up like he's gonna fucking shoot, like he's aiming it, and he pulls the trigger, and bang! The
Boom.
bullet blasts through the door and into his mother's back.
Boom. And there's like huge, awesome squib.
Yeah,
Bloosh.
yeah, blood flies everywhere. The mom drops it down the kitchen floor, and they show the bullet like hitting like 3 times from like various angles. It's like an action movie sequence.
Baboosh. Baboosh. I love it. I love that shit. That shit cracks me up. That must have been a thing in the early 80s because they did that a lot in like action films.
Well,
and
yeah,
all
of
that.
course, action
But also like Humanoids from the Deep, every time there was an explosion, they did it from
Yeah,
like
they
12
did.
different angles
Like
over
when that
and over.
boat blows up in the beginning of the movie, it's like 12 takes or 12 camera
Or where the
angles.
truck went off the bridge, boom, 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 boom. Like, what the fuck's going on?
They certainly wanted to get the most for their bang.
Fuck
literally.
yeah, they did. It's like, okay, we're getting 6 cameras. We're not missing this shit.
So the son comes out of the room and rushes over to the mom.
Mommy.
Mom, this kid. Thank
Mommy,
God this kid
mommy.
only has like 2. That's all he says in the entire movie because he's like the most cardboard, worst acting kid I've ever seen. He's probably worse than the fucking kid from Satan's Little Helper. I don't know, but that's pretty bad. Outside, Dad returns home from his hunting trip. Seeing his dead wife, he pushes his son
Doesn't
down.
say a fucking word.
Nope, just comes and knocks the kid to the floor.
Not one line. He just comes in, sees what's happened. The kid doesn't say, "Dad, help," or anything. He just looks at his dad, knocks the kid over.
Just he looks at his wife for a bit, tries like see if he can do anything, but she's dead. So the father backs up and just like backs his son into his den.
It's like, you're my son. I'm sure this was an accident, but I'm gonna fucking kill you now. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, it's dark. Like, and then he backs the kids up, and he just backhand bitch slaps his own son.
Yep.
Just harsh, like wham. The boy runs off, and the dad then just drags his wife's dead body into the den.
When the kid runs off, he has the gun with him, and he kind of like looks like he's giving him a head start. Like he's about.
Yeah,
I'm thinking,
3.
shit, he's gonna hunt his son. That was my first thought. I was like, he's gonna hunt his son down. But I think he takes a few steps. He's like, the kid's fucking fast. All right, fuck that.
Yeah.
Martha, we're going drinking.
Yeah. He drags his wife into the den. He sits on the couch and he props his wife's dead body up on the couch, like leaning up against his legs.
Pours himself some Jack Daniels.
I thought it was scotch. Anyway, a nice glass of liquor. He takes a drink of it. And then he sees the son's sign on the gun cabinet. He takes it off the cabinet and puts the sign on his wife.
Pours another drink and like puts it to her lips.
Yeah, he pours the liquor down the wife's throat, and then he just sits there like a death stare, like 1,000-yard stare. But what the fuck, dude? Like that is next level creepy.
That
Like
was some weird stuff.
Like this guy was not altogether there before this happened. To take that sign off and put it on the wife's, like that's
It's a little weird.
dark.
It's a little weird.
So
And then giving her a drink.
yeah, which is even weirder. So the camera zooms out as sirens are heard, and we see the son kind of like watching the father from the other side of the door.
Kinda
Like
like peeping around the
he's
corner.
peeping around. Yeah. We fade to black, and we fade in on a now college-aged son who is Ed Jr. He's grown up. He's sitting in a bar by himself, drinking a nice Budweiser. And here we get introduced to the fucking annoying-ass theme song, Fall Break, for the first time.
Oh, yes.
Only a little bit of it, though, but it's the first time you hear this song, but it certainly will not be the last.
You know it won't.
Junior is then joined by his group of friends as they all mope around, complain that they have nothing to do for fall break.
And this looks almost like the same exact fucking bar in My Bloody Valentine. Like, it's that same kind of type of bar. It's just that dopey old rundown
it's
bar.
just like the little, small town neighborhood bar.
Yeah. It's almost like the same bar that I think they had in Happy Birthday to Me. Also, like where the top 10 were playing or like always drinking at. Like these like college bars that are just like towny bars. I'm so fucking jealous. I wish I got to hang out with one of those places.
But again, we're talking about fall break here, and like maybe this is a thing of the past, but I don't like what the fuck is fall break? Everybody knows Christmas break, spring break, summer break. The only fall break I could even remotely even come close would be the little break you get around Thanksgiving time. But other than that, there was no like fall break.
Right.
So what the hell is fall break? When was it supposed to be?
Here's a fun little nugget of Aaron trivia for you,
Okay.
or Aaron history. I went to SIU Carbondale, Southern Illinois University, Carbondale, which was very famous
At the
throughout
time.
the 70s and 80s and early, even in the 90s
Even
when I
in
was
the
there.
yeah, when you were
It's a big party school.
It was a top 10 party school. I think wasn't it like ranked by like Playboy as like a top 10. Even it was like I think even hit like top 3 or something at one point.
Yeah, I went there. But yeah, so what they did during fall around Halloween, because people would go batshit crazy at Halloween. We're talking pandemonium, riots in the streets. What they did is they would shut down the campus and say, "Oh, we call it fall break. All you guys go home, and over the weekend of whatever Halloween would fall on, whatever round, you just leave and you'd come back, get all that shit out of your system so you don't destroy our campus."
Right. I get. So, maybe that's
I
the
doubt
case,
it.
but I
that was
doubt
just-
in this
I
movie.
just had to mention that.
Yeah.
But that went on from like that was 19 like early 80s is when the fucking riots and all that shit hit the fan.
But that's went all the
And
way
they-
to like early 2000s.
But they kept that break tradition all the way until like 2000.
Yeah.
And then we had it again. And guess what happened? We fucking went insane. The cops came out and shot us with tear gas, and it fucking sucked.
All right. So, so at the bar, they're at the bar. Junior gets a call from the bar phone, and basically it's a message to call his dad. Pam, his girlfriend, starts telling the group about how, basically Ed Junior's backstory about, when he was a kid, he shot his mom, and it drove his dad crazy, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, this is like some intimate details
Yeah.
that apparently he shared with his girlfriend. And when he's at the bar getting a phone
She's
call,
blabbing
it's
it
like,
everything.
So what's up with this old man? She's like, let me tell you guys. Let me tell you all his deep, dark secrets. Let me air his dirty laundry here.
We don't know how good of friends they are. They could
Right.
have just met that semester, they could just be kind of, new friends. Like, you
Yeah.
don't tell people shit.
More
that, right?
acquaintances, especially
Yeah.
if they're early college. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
You know how many, like, quote-unquote friends I had early college?
Yeah,
You
you're
know how
hanging
many
out for
ever...
like a week or two, and then anyways, you know what? This isn't gonna work out. You
Dude,
move on to a new
There's
group.
like a few of them. I don't even remember their names. I remember their faces. I'm like, I don't remember that guy. I just remember doing a lot of drugs with him. He was fun, but...
So Junior comes back to the table and tells the group that his dad wants him to go close up his condo for the winter, which is like his beach condo or something like that. During this, he mentions that his whole life, his father's treated him like a redheaded bastard, but now he suddenly wants to come help him out. His friend Ralph, takes exception to the redhead comment and points to his hair like he's supposed to be a redhead.
Which
but
is
the problem,
clearly brown.
Yeah, thank you. Being a redhead, like, what? No, you ain't a fucking, it is clearly brown hair.
There might be like a hint of auburn in there, but like barely.
Barely.
I mean, my first instinct is like, whoa, buddy.
Yeah.
Whoa there, wannabe red.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. He's clearly brown. So his friends convince Ed Jr. to go do it. To go close the place up for the winter.
It's better than nothing.
So they have a place to party over fall break. Junior, he agrees, but he's like, I got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, he just suddenly becomes Han Solo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it was straight from Star Wars.
We cut to them back on their college campus. They're loading up the car. Ralph mentions that Sue can't go due to her having to retake a midterm or something like that. But out comes Sue, ready to go, and it turns out, Ralph is our token 80s.
He's our prankster.
He's our 80s slasher, prankster, jokester guy that you see in every movie at this time of year. Or
right out of
this time of
typecasting.
the...
But you know what? I guess gotta say really quick, I love their fucking style of clothing. There's like this weird period where it was like their pants were tight, but not too tight.
Yeah.
They always wore like button-up shirts with sweaters on top.
Polos and stuff like that.
Kind of like what I'm wearing right now. What I wear to work, but for some reason it's acceptable. I don't know. I was like, I like their fucking style.
They all hop in the car, but the car has trouble starting right away.
It's an old
convertible.
It's like a 60s convertible.
Yeah. Ralph decides that this is a good time to start drinking, so they outpull the beers, but the car starts and off they go.
Fuck yeah, it's time to start drinking.
Now, cue the credits and the cliche driving montage where we get the sweet, cheesy awfulness that is the Fall Break song.
The Fall Break song.
In the movie, in the credits that roll here, the movie, this is where they actually call it, it's called Fall Break right there, even though, it's called Mutilator. So they never bothered to change the title of the movie.
Yeah, they
for
never.
this.
It's like they're off. They're like, "Woo, here we go!" And then there's like this big fucking
Bright
panoramic
blue, like neon
sign that appears in the sky. Fall Break.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I honestly stopped. I was like, "What the fuck?"
I mean, this is something we here at Double H have seen many times now. Like, for some reason, they change the name, but they forget to actually change it in the film itself.
Yeah, I had to pause it and go, "Huh, okay." I thought I was watching the Mutilator.
Yeah, it makes you think, like, are you watching the right movie?
And so I go back to Amazon to read the description. I was like, okay, this little kid kills his mom. Okay, that happened. Okay, yeah, I guess I'm watching it. So I push play. I'm like, all right, I guess. My first thought was, I guess it's just one of those shitty 80s movie things.
Just so I don't want you guys to miss out on the crappy, cheesy, crappy awfulness that is Fall Break, I did go ahead and make a soundbite of that to play for you guys, so you too can enjoy the sweet ripoff, the Randy Newman-like ripoff that is Fall Break.
You bastard.
So enjoy this.
When the leaves of summer turn red and gold and the football games bring a hint of the cold, time to get away. We'll pack the car with escape in mind, forgetting about classes, leaving books behind. Time to get away. Empty cottage sitting on the shore. Tourists all left about a month before, and we're gonna have a good time. Gonna have a good time. Yeah, we're gonna have a good time.
We're going on now.
A ball break, walking hand in hand in the moonlight. We'll breathe the sweet salt air. I swear we'll never part.
We're going on now.
A ball break, running in the sand, feeling alright. And when you fall into my arms, I'll break into your heart.
Yeah, so that's Fall Break.
Going on.
Fall Break.
Oh, we will spare you the rest of the song.
Yeah, it plays a lot more throughout the movie.
But how about that saxophone?
Oh,
huh?
the sweet, sweet sax.
Oh man, that's that '80s sax. That just like you always just gotta throw a saxophone in any '80s
Oh
song.
yeah, but to me that fucking theme song for a horror movie, that sounds like it should be more on like some kind of '80s college comedy movie.
Yeah.
like I don't want to say necessarily like a National Lampoon, but like it
a
doesn't.
shitty one.
Yeah, it doesn't belong.
It really
It does not
fit
belong
at
in a horror
all.
movie, no.
Not at all. It really takes you out of it.
Yeah, it really does.
And
what's
you know,
even-
honestly, the music in this whole fucking movie sucks.
It really, yeah. Well, some of the music, like the music, like stings, like the going ding when it's
Yeah.
something. Those aren't bad. Those are
Yeah,
kind of fit.
okay.
But the rest of the music, there's another music I have a note on comes up later that oh my god, it's even worse. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the editing. Well, we'll get into it.
Yeah, it's weird. So the car breaks down at a gas station. Ralph buys more beer after sweet talking the gas station clerk into giving him the senior discount, which I gotta say was a pretty solid argument. I thought, like, I kind of want to try that out myself.
It's not bad.
It's not that bad.
So his argument was he came up with a 6-pack of Natty Light.
Natty Light.
And he puts it down. He's like, hey, they have an advertised senior discount, 10%. And he goes, why don't, he goes, that's discrimination. Of course, the guy's this old black guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's discrimination. He's like, what? And he's just like, I'm young. I'm being discriminated because I'm young. 65 and older get 10% off. Tell you what, you give me that discount, I'll go buy another pack of beer.
Yeah, and we both win.
We both win. He's like, all right.
Yeah. He's like, yeah. Like, it's not a bad argument.
No, it's
the way
not.
he presents it is pretty solid. So back into the car, more driving montage and more Fall Break songs played. And we get,
It's a while.
it just goes on for a long time because this driving montage lasts because they keep showing like all the driving shenanigans. Like Ralph has to get out to pee, and then when he tries to get back in the car, they drive off a bit more, and then drive a little bit more.
And they're drinking and playing grab ass. Oh,
Yeah.
there's a cop hiding the beers.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
just oh boy. And finally, they arrive at the beach condo that sits across the street from a fucking trailer park. So not the nicest part of the beach. This is not like Malibu or Club Med or anything like that. It turns out the condo isn't locked at all. It's wide open. They just go right inside.
Yeah, doors open. And they're a little like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah, and they find the kitchens filled with dozens and dozens of empty liquor bottles.
Dude, it looks like a fucking party.
Yeah. This looks like a straight up college party, like just from back in the day. Like
Yes.
there's just bottles of booze everywhere.
beer bottles, booze bottles.
There was a good
cans.
time to be had the night before.
Man, they fucking went at it.
Yeah, they did.
Proper.
So Ed Jr. tells the group that his dad and his drinking/hunting buddies, they, come up here and party, or not come to party, but well, obviously they party if they went through that much. But,
Dude, it was so funny how Junior was just like, oh yeah, this is totally normal.
Totally normal.
Everyone's like, what the fuck?
yeah, everybody else, like Pam and everybody else like, this place is broken. We should call the cops. And,
Yeah,
like,
they're
have
just like,
reported
this
broken
is
into.
fucking horrible looking. And he's like, nah.
Happens all the time.
This is dad.
They come up here, get drunk, tell stories of the good old days when they were the great white hunters and macho men. And Junior says something along the lines of, the only thing my dad hasn't hunted is man.
Bum, bum, bum.
There's some foreshadowing. Pam wants to report the place broken into, but again, like I said, this is where he says there's no real cops on the island, just like there's one dude that patrols the beach.
And sometimes moonlights as an actor.
Yeah. So Then Ralph calls him into the next room to show off the father's hunting trophies that are just littered. They're hanging all over the walls of this place.
There's heads, there's stuffed animals, there's fish, mounted fish. And...
He does show them a picture, though, of a bloody, shirtless man that Ed Jr. is like, oh, that's just some guy my father ran over with and killed with a ski boat but it was an accident.
Yeah, it was fucking creepy.
But it's like, what? He says it's
framed,
so nonchalant.
This framed photo of this dead guy with his guts ripped open.
He's this bloody torso all
and everyone's
shredded.
like,
oh yeah. It was a complete accident. My dad just ran over with a ski boat. It's cool. And like, I'm sorry, but why would you keep a picture of the man you basically murdered sitting around in your living room? Like, that's like a giant red flag.
Huge.
That's something fucking wrong. And Ed Jr.'s like, yeah, totally cool.
Yes.
That makes me want to question Ed Jr. at this time.
You guys don't have those?
What? I thought everybody had those. Did your dad kill somebody too? Like, come on.
No accidental deaths, and then you frame it? No.
Yeah, that's what you do. So
you guys pull my leg.
Sue then takes the gaff hook off the wall, wanting to know what it is. And the gaff hook is basically this giant, huge fucking fish hook. It's used to haul in very large fish over the side of a boat.
So if you catch like a marlin or a swordfish or
shark or whatever, it's this giant. It looks just like the hook you have on the end of a fishing line on a regular, just blown up like 1,000 times. It's like ginormous,
6 feet long.
It's huge. It's insanely big. Junior also points out of this framed section of wall. Where in the frame is this a pyramid zinger surrounded by several holes in the wall. And Junior tells a story about how his dad and his pals were drunk one night and decided to have a pyramid zinger throwing contest to see who could throw one through the wall.
Oh yeah, pyramid zinger contest.
This sounds like shit like our group of friends would have done when we were like 18. Like,
yeah,
we did some dumb ass shit. And this looks like right by. Oh, let's try, especially that house that. Place we stayed in was Kirksville when we went up to that Truman State for that band, that party up there.
Oh man,
not a proud moment, guys, but we destroyed this house. It was pretty destroyed when we stayed in it. That's why we basically.
It was an apartment, so these guys we were staying with lived in an apartment, but the apartment next door was empty.
Was vacant.
Vacant. And there's like. The door's open. You guys can stay there.
Yeah.
And we fucking trashed the
place.
place.
Boy. We did a number on that place. Woo. It was probably need to be condemned after we were done. And I mean, there was like a group of like 10 to 12 of us, maybe even more, just crammed into this little apartment or all drunk and just belligerent. And
again, not one of our proudest
Not
moments.
good, but this is exactly something we would have done at that time.
Yes.
And so basically, Big Ed, Junior's dad, won the contest, and then he was so proud of it that he framed a section of wall, and the pyramid zinger is still stuck in the wall. Now, you might be asking, what the fuck is a pyramid zinger? And I'll say, you're not alone, because I have no fucking idea what a pyramid zinger is.
I'm kind of curious.
My best guess is because it just looks like a small metal pyramid-shaped weight. So my guess is it's some kind of deep-sea fishing weight. That's the best thing I come up with. But there's no like loop or hole where you tie it, the fishing line through or do it. It's just like this sharp.
With very sharp, the points are
it
very
almost
sharp.
looks more like a ninja, like something a ninja would use, like caltrops or something like that.
Yes,
it really does. Like, I don't know what this thing's supposed to be for, other than I guess getting drunk and throwing it through a wall.
Fuck yeah.
So above the pyramid zinger is the ugliest, crappiest looking clay tribal mask I've ever seen.
Yeah, it looks pretty bad.
This is the thing of nightmares, and it looks like it just has a flappy penis for a nose. Like it
looks like something a kid, like an advanced third grader, might make. And be like, oh look, Billy's in third grade and he made this mask. Oh, it's pretty good.
Yeah, like it looked like something. Yeah, like my 7th grade like art class when we were making like paper mache. Yeah, that fucking ugly thing back in my corner right there. Yeah,
which you still have.
Yeah,
still proud of it, huh?
No, not so much. My, honestly,
I don't know what the fuck
the only
that
reason
thing
I
is.
keep it is because my dad gets on my every time. I'm like, I'm ready. I want to get rid of it. My dad's like, no, it's so cool. It was original. We gotta keep that. I'm like, so I keep it to keep my dad happy because I'm like, I'm done with it. But he that and this other, I made a McDonald's fry thing out of clay. He thought that was the coolest thing too. I don't know why, but anyway, we're getting way off the subject. That's the fact of the matter. So we're talking about penis nose mask.
Back to penis nose mask.
Yeah. And now we cut down to the garage of the condo because it's kind of like a dual. The garage is on the base, and then you go up steps, and the condo sits above the garage. So down in the garage, we find Big Ed waking up from all the sounds of the ugly mask falling on the floor, which I'm surprised this is what wakes him up, and not the sound like the 6 college kids tromping around and being loud up there, but just this mask falling.
Right.
And again, why is he sleeping in a fucking closet in the garage? I'm guessing they had a hell of a night. He just passed out in the closet
This
for
guy's
some
lost
reason.
his shit.
Yeah, like, why are you sleeping in a closet?
Now, I've woken up. Well, we're getting off.
we can regale you all night long with our drinking.
I think we're identifying a little too much with the Mutilator here.
We probably are. Big Ed's not that bad so far. Like we would have hung out with him. So Junior explains the mask, says that it's supposed to be an Incan rain god, and that the priests wore these during their human sacrifice rituals and all that. Then Pam points out that something is missing from its hanging spot on the wall, and Junior mentions, again, very calmly,
nonchalantly,
that's where the battle axe hangs, but shows again no concern with that. No concern that a fucking battle axe, let's let that sink in, is missing from this guy's wall.
Big whoop, no big deal.
So the guy who has a framed picture of the man he killed, the battle axe that he has on the wall is now missing.
After the place is full of beer bottles, the door's wide open.
Yeah.
No big whoop. It's fine.
So again, Pam tries to convince Ed to call the cops and like report this, and he's like, "Nope, not gonna do it. Fine. Tell you what, let's just I guarantee, we'll sleep on it tomorrow morning. If it doesn't show up by the morning, then I'll call.
I'll call my dad in the morning if he doesn't say anything.
Because I'm sure he took it with him, or the friends took it, and everything's fine.
You gotta take your battle axe on the road.
Yeah, you gotta carry that around.
Personal protection.
Yeah. So downstairs in the garage, we see Big Ed sleeping with the battle axe. So not only did he pass out, gets drunk down there, what the fuck was he doing with the battle axe that he's sleeping? He's curled up sleeping with it like it's a teddy bear.
Cuddling his battle axe.
Yeah. I mean, Jesus Christ, can you get any more just intentional? Hello, here's our killer guy.
Right.
There is zero surprises.
They're not sugarcoating this at all.
There is no mystery.
No hint of mystery. Yeah, it's the fucker in the basement cuddling the battle axe.
With a framed picture of a man he already killed once. So, now there's this quick dream sequence, because Ed, he woke up and he falls back asleep. And in this dream sequence, it's just Big Ed dreaming of multiple ways to murder his young son when he was a boy.
Yeah, slitting his throat.
We see him strangling the kid, and then he's shooting him with the same rifle that killed his wife.
Yeah,
and then he
slits
tops
his
it off
throat.
with the battle axe.
Yeah, I'm gonna use this fucking axe on Ed Jr. God damn.
Meanwhile, upstairs, the group is hanging out, drinking, laughing. Mike and Linda, who we haven't even talked about, but yeah, they're there. They're two of the friends. They leave, and
dude, Mike looks like a human Ken doll.
He does.
He's got this weird body. He's got this like triangle upper body, like the broad shoulders and the slim waist, but then his legs are sticks. Just these weird sticks, and he's tan like a motherfucker, and white teeth for days with blonde hair.
You know what he reminded me of? There's times when he talks, he reminds me of a cross between Mr. Slaughter from Tourist Trap and Hank Hill. There's times where the way he talks, you mush those together, and that's Mike. He's got the weirdest voice in this movie.
Ed Jr., that boy ain't right.
So Mike and Linda leave. They go down. They check out the garage. They're snooping around. We see Big Ed hiding in the closet, watching him through the cracks in the door. And the two of them open a different closet, and they find on a wall, for some reason, this closet just has one wall lined with these sharp 6 to 8 inch spikes. That just why?
Just fucking spikes.
Just spikes. It's like a fucking Iron Maiden almost. They're just hanging on the wall.
Lined with spikes. And like Marshall said, you walk in the garage, there's a closet on the left and a closet on the right facing each other. They almost open up Ed's fucking closet, but they open up the other one.
Yeah.
So these come and play quite a bit.
Yeah, these closets come back.
So I just got to set it up. There's two, like Marshall said, there's two separate closets. They're facing each other.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I see.
One's on the left, one's on the right.
The way I pictured it is, if you walk in the garage, directly on your right would be the closet with the spikes, And then if you go all the way to the back left corner is Big Ed's closet.
I kind of felt
That's
like,
how I always felt it was set up.
yeah, I could have been, but they move around so oddly, and like the shots in here are pretty tight.
Yeah,
It's kind of hard to tell.
It's a fucking garage.
But
It's
there's
not a
one
big
on each
space.
side.
Yeah. They're definitely on the opposite
Yes,
side of the room.
there's I get in the broadest sense of terms are facing each other.
Yeah. So like Aaron just said, several times Linda comes really close to opening the closet that Big Ed's in, but each time she's about to do, she gets interrupted by something, and eventually the two of them get called back by, I think, Pam or something like that, and they leave the garage. Nothing happens. So now we jump to the group.
They did talk about they found a motorboat engine in there.
Oh yeah, well I was gonna come back to that later, but yeah, it's a small outboard motor, like you would see on like one of those like little.
And
little green like fishing boats, like
yeah,
those
just like a small little boat,
little boat. Yeah,
and,
like
and it's funny because the guy goes, "You think that was the same boat that cut up that guy?"
Oh yeah,
and she goes, "No, it's not big enough." Goes, "Yeah, it's not big enough." You know, like, it's like this guy's nickname should be Moose. You know, it's like he's kind of like you said the way he talks, like Slozenge Hank. I don't know what to do, guys. You think that's it? No, it's not. No, it's not big enough. No.
He's such a weird guy.
I know, it's like Hulk from Thor Ragnarok. He kind of talks like that.
Yeah,
you know?
but he's supposed to be like this big, like the hunky blonde guy, but he talks like a fucking like he just
troglodyte. You know.
So we go to the main group. They just finished eating dinner. They're drinking more beer. Again, Mike and Linda leave to go for a walk on the beach at night. They frolic in the water a bit. And then we get the standard killer watching them and breathing deeply POV shot.
And this is where you get that music.
Yeah.
But as soon as it cuts, it's like, it cuts to the next scene.
Yeah.
It just cuts off, boom.
Instantly. Yeah.
Instantly.
The cuts are real fast
no
and hard.
fade, no gentle, like no fade away, no like, transitional scene, no editing like savvy whatsoever.
No.
It's just like cut, bam. Okay, on to the next scene.
So the other four, they're playing Monopoly, and they quickly decided to quit that pretty much immediately.
Good for them.
Good for them, because
Fuck Monopoly.
Fuck Monopoly. Yeah, I agree with you 100% there. And they decided to go catch up with Mike and Linda out on the beach. So now we get a shot of this giant blue bubble made, like, it's like a ginormous tarp. This thing looks like something
like Biodome.
Yeah, it's like... To me, it looks more like something you would see like a secret government agency would use, like, to cover up an alien spaceship,
like
or
X-Files.
Yeah, it's very X-Files, like, or a contaminated area, like, keep out.
So they're trespassing.
Yeah, but it just like turns out to be a weird cover for like the pool area,
almost like a terrarium for swimming.
Yeah,
like for people to get horny and swim. A terrarium for
the
horniness.
The
yes.
sexarium.
But yeah, they're just like, sweet pool.
Yeah.
All right, let's go swimming.
So they walk right into because like there's like a slit in the tarp,
Yeah.
and you just walk right into it. And they turn on the lights, and they comment on how murky the water is, how like thick or it's very foggy. They strip down, they go skinny dipping while this cheesy piano music plays.
Dude.
Now this is the other one I was talking about. This piano music sounds like it should be the opening theme song to like an 80s sitcom. It has that feel to it. Like I'm almost thinking like half Cheers, half like Leave It to or Mr. Belvedere or something like that. Like,
very good.
It's very like does not belong in this movie at all.
Right, and it's just so weird, and it's not really the scene. It's like it's not really sexy music, and it's like they're getting naked, and you're thinking they're gonna get splishy,
it's
sexy
lovey time.
time.
It's sexy, naked, fun time. And I
But
agree.
no, it's like here comes the wacky butler.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you want to go where everybody knows your name? Like it's a weird choice for music in this scene.
Right.
Out on the beach, we get more killer POV shots of him watching the other
More
four.
shitty music. Yeah.
In the pool, Mike and Linda, they splash around. They start making out, but the lights go out. Uh-oh. But Mike easy just gets out of the pool, turns it back on.
Gets back up, turns it back on.
Right into the pool he goes.
No bigs, and he's able to find lights like that.
Yeah. It's like, no big deal.
He just looks up and goes, there they are. Goes over, turns it back on. No problem.
Yeah. More shots of them playing around. Linda decides she's going to float on her back, just relax and enjoy the water. And that's when a pair of hands rise up out of the water in slow motion, grab her by the face, and pull her under the water, all in slow motion.
Very slow motion.
And the music is like, boom, boom. It's really weird. And I have to call major bullshit on this.
Major bullshit.
Because there's no fucking way that she wouldn't know that someone was that close to her in water. You would feel that. And given the angle at which these hands come up underneath her, the killer, well, we all know the killer's fucking Big Ed. Big Ed would have been like directly underneath her, reaching straight up. Again, you would feel, there's no way this works in real life.
And they're playing Splishy Splashy.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, it's a big pool.
It's a big pool.
But it's not that fucking big.
No.
You can see all around you.
Yeah.
There's nothing blocking your view. There's no one else in the pool except for two people.
Two people.
Then they're playing Splishy Splashy. They're like, oh, come find me. And that's how she gets away, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Because it's not that fucking hard to see
Yeah,
what's
they're
happening.
playing like a weird Marco Polo type game for a while. Like they'd go under the water, swim a bit, and they come up and looking for the other one, and then kind
But
of
she
hide
was
from each
laying on
other.
her back, tits up. He
Yeah,
must have been
well, that was-
underwater for like
yeah.
20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna say she ended up laying on her back, but before that they were doing that height, whatever. So that means Mike again is either holding his breath underwater for like a good 5 minutes at least,
right.
Because when we see him after she gets killed, he comes up, he surfaces for like and looking
Ooh,
around like,
where's she at?
Where's she at? And again, it's like, how does again? You think about it, we just saw the killer POV of him out on the beach looking at the other four, and then the cut and he's in the water underneath Linda in like seconds.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
No.
This is
No.
the worst. This is the worst.
This is by far the worst thing in this movie. It drove me nuts. So like I said, Mike surfaces from underwater, looking around for Linda, and we also see Big Ed climb out of the pool on the ladder with Linda's dead body draped over his back, and Big Ed also takes like all their clothes with them.
So-
and you're telling me Mike doesn't see Big
Any
Ed
of
with
this?
a dead body over his shoulder to
Like-
climb out of the pool?
Dude, getting out of a pool with all of your clothes on is loud.
Yeah.
A splash, splash. All that water's dripping off your heavy clothes. Plus, you're carrying a
dead body.
A dead body. She's got to be like $120.
Yeah.
You know, you're hauling this out, and then you have the wherewithal to
Bend over, pick up clothes.
with this 120-pound dead body on your back and scoop up all of the clothes
All
in
the
one
clothes.
perfect scoop. You know?
And apparently doing this without being seen by a
Seen.
guy who's standing in the pool, actively looking around.
Oh, that's bullshit.
It's one of the worst scenes in all the
It
in
is.
all movies.
It
It's
is.
so
It's
bad.
the worst.
So Mike exits the pool and he finds a trail of his clothes.
Yeah, he's like, oh, my clothes are gone. Uh-oh.
It's like a breadcrumb of trail
Yeah.
of clothes. And he follows the trail of clothes that leads him back to the garage where he finds Linda's bra. He's like, oh, Linda, I see where this is going.
this is leading to.
He spots Linda's panties on the doorknob to one of the closets. He opens it up and, oh, there's nobody there.
Oh.
So he goes over to the other closet, playfully saying, I'm going to get you. And he flings open the door, and that's when and just wham, there's Big Ed with the outboard motor of a fishing boat in hand. And it's roaring.
It's revving.
It's roaring.
It's revving and going.
He's holding it up like a goddamn weed whacker or a chainsaw. And he just rips apart Mike's torso with the
Jams
motor.
into Mike's guts, and Mike fucking goes for the Oscar.
Oh my god, blood sprays everywhere. Mike screaming, and his death scene is so over the top. Like, it's almost comical how long he takes to die in this scene. Like, I should record his death scene and get the sound clip of that. That's what, to see how long he's like,
Yeah, that's bravo.
I mean, it's so ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
And the whole time, like, there's like, Big Ed's holding like this a fucking boat motor up, like propeller flying.
It's so ridiculous.
It's fucking
He doesn't
ridiculous.
move. He doesn't try to take a step back. He just stands in place. He doesn't fall. Like he did. It's so ridiculous.
It's so fucking insane, this kill. And I just don't think there's any way a normal human, let alone somebody like in his 50s, like Big Ed is, would be able to hold up a boat motor like that while it's revving while the propeller's in slow motion, and let alone control it long enough to kill somebody with it. Like, I don't think it's any possible.
Pretty bad.
That being said,
I the
fucking
effect.
loved it though.
Yeah, I know.
I
like
fucking
the
loved
effect.
it.
Yeah, it's good. With all the flaws, it's still pretty fucking awesome.
I mean, that's the first. No one's ever been killed by a fucking boat motor
That's
before.
true. That's true.
In that way.
That's true.
So Big Ed drags Mike's body into the closet and hangs it on the wall like one of his hunting trophies by impaling him on one of those long, sharp spikes we mentioned earlier. He also does the same thing to Linda's body, only with her, he hangs her by impaling it through her head.
The back of her head goes into the spike. So if you ever thought maybe there was a chance she was alive, maybe she lost consciousness, well, not any fucking more.
Nope. We cut back to the others. They're still on the beach. They bump into the beach patrol cop. Yeah, I guess Baywatch or something like that. I don't know.
Old retired Baywatch.
Old retired Baywatch guy. It's like David Hasselhoff in his 70s.
Nursing home Baywatch.
No, he's actually, he is a cop. He's got like the cop jacket on, but it's like, but they say all he does is patrol the beach.
Yeah, he just
and that's where they run into him on the beach.
walks along collecting sand dollars, just wishing he had a lady. Thinking of the one that got away.
Yeah.
He's not talking about fish.
Yeah. Pan fills the cop in on the possibility, that the condo was broken into. But again, Edge is like, no, don't worry about it, officer. Everything, I'm going to take care of it in the morning. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, he's basically like, all right, well, I'm not going to make it official till you tell me tomorrow.
Yeah.
I wish all cops were like that. Officer, I'm really not drunk. I just had a few drinks.
I'll wait. I'll see if I'm drunk in the morning, and then I'll worry about it.
Well, I'm making note of it, but I won't make it official until I see you tomorrow. Thanks,
I'll give
officer.
you a breathalyzer in the morning.
You're good. You're one of the good ones, officer.
The cop does warn them to be careful on the beach, and a thunderstorm is rolling in, which never comes. I don't remember ever. Like, it never hits shore. Like, they mention it. Like, okay, we're gonna get the traditional, horror movie thunderstorm. Nope, it never comes.
Yeah.
So why even have that in the script?
The squall just passed.
Yeah. The group heads off, and the cop radios in that he's gonna look into a possible robbery. So he's like, he is gonna look into this. So the cop reaches the condo. He starts to look around the outside. He's going around the outside of the house. Big Ed pops up behind him, stabs him in the face with like this large piece of wood. Like, it's just a wooden plank.
I couldn't tell what it was.
It's a piece of wood.
I didn't know if it was like a machete. I'm like, that's a fucked up looking machete.
No, because
I didn't know.
because when the cop falls to the ground on his knees and he's looking up, you can clearly see like it's like a thin piece of plank, a wooden plank. That I guess had been sharp enough to go into his, but it doesn't look like it. It's not like whittled down to a point. It's just like this.
How far did it go in? Because it was sticking out. Like
it had gone like almost through his one cheek and into his mouth, but it doesn't come out the other side. And it's just like he's got this like 2 foot board dangling out of his cheek.
It's pretty cool looking.
And blood's gushing out of his mouth, it's spilling down his chest. The cop falls to his knees. And you think that's it, but nope, Big Ed, this is where he pulls out the fucking battle axe and in one clean swing just chops the cop's head right off.
Olay.
The cop's beheaded torso sprays blood all over the place before falling to the ground. And so there's the cop's demise with a fucking battle axe. I can't reiterate enough. Like, this is the first, this is 1980s.
These are some good kills so far.
This movie's got great kills. I will give it that. Great kills. But a fucking battle axe. Not a machete, not a chainsaw, not a goddamn battle axe. Straight up like Lord of the Rings. It's like Gimli's axe. Fucking Gimli's axe. Or something. It just, Jesus Christ.
You have my sword, my bow,
my axe. So the remaining 4 head back to the condo where we get more POV, deep breathing, killer spine shots. Ed Jr. says... or suggest that they save the rest of Monopoly game for tomorrow and play something that all of them can play. Which made me scratch my head because I'm pretty sure 4 people can play Monopoly, considering the fact just a few minutes ago we saw all 4 of them playing Monopoly.
Right. Yeah.
So again, that's just shitty writing. Anyway, after some more banter, Pam gets fed up with Ralph making virgin jokes because Pam's the virgin. And Ralph is constantly giving her shit about throughout the whole movie. So she gets fed up with making the virgin jokes at her expense, and from out of fucking nowhere, she sucker punches him in the stomach, and then judo hip throws him.
Totally judo throws him.
Like fucking Ronda Rousey, just down onto the ground where she mounts him ready to like ground and pound his ass.
She like rears back and he covers up. I'm like, okay, so this gave me an inkling. It's like this was foreshadowing.
Yeah.
What I thought was going to be foreshadowing.
Exactly.
Of hey, she's a badass.
Yeah, she can hold her own.
She can
fight.
handle herself.
Nope. Never
Never.
ever comes back into the movie.
Never comes back. Son of a bitch.
Again, just waste. I don't know why you show this and then not do
It
something
was a
with
great
it.
scene.
It was. Like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Because it was clean technique, too. She did it well.
Because she's like the little innocent virgin girl who's kind of quiet and like, wanted to report to the cops and she wanted to be upright, and here she is. She's like, wham. She has a
She was
badass
well
side.
balanced. It was well done.
Yeah. So she doesn't punch him anymore. They decide to play a game called Blind Man's Bluff, which is just a weird variant of hide and go seek. Only in this version, as Ed Jr. explains, everyone gets a beer, which, okay, I'm on board so far. That
Yeah.
part I like, excuse me. He continues to explain the rules to Pam, saying that one person is it, and the others leave the house, they drink their beer, then the person that is it hides, and the others come back inside after drinking their beer, which is supposed to be like the timer for her to hide, and they try to find the hiding person. When you find the hiding person, you stand, sit, or lie down next to them, and then finally there will just be one person wandering around the house trying to find everybody else, that person being the loser of the round. So, yeah, that's the game. And so we basically have now 4 couch kids, young adults, playing a fucking child's game.
Yeah, it's pretty
You know what? I have a better idea for a game. It's called Drink the Beer.
Yeah.
How about just do that? How about we just play Drink the Beer?
Or quarters.
Quarters.
Yeah, quarters.
Slippy cup, of course.
Flip a cup. Asshole.
Asshole.
Circle of death.
Circle of Death, thank you.
Yeah.
3-man, or anything. Any of that would be better than this weird hide and go seek crap. So Sue volunteers to be it first, so all the others leave the condo.
Like, I know. Drink the beer.
Sue turns off all the lights. She goes off to hide. Outside, Big Ed spies on the other 3 as they start drinking their beer and they're sitting there waiting for her. But he's then shown sneaking into the house. But Sue, he's about to get into the house, but Sue has locked the back door just in the nick of time because we see Ed reach out and start trying to open it, but she just locked it, so the knob's jiggling. And seeing it jiggle, she tells Big Ed, who she thinks is Ralph, that Ralph's trying to cheat, get in early, like, hey, you have to wait for it like everyone else. So, you might be curious, it's a big question. Where does Sue hide? Because, you know what? I was thinking the same thing. You gotta figure out where she's gonna hide.
This is it's not that sparse. It's a sparse house.
Yeah, but
a man lives there.
Where she decides to hide is a bit surprising. She decides to sit on top of the kitchen table with her back to the wall. But she does decide it would be a good idea to put the cooler in front of her with the lid open to try to cover up a little bit. But she's sitting on top of a fucking table.
You can just walk in the kitchen and
there you are.
There's Sue. Yeah.
So the rest of them enter the house, and we also see the shadow of Big Ed walking up the outside stairs.
It's supposed to be creating suspense that they're all like
wandering
sneaking around, wandering in the dark, and Big Ed's in there too, wandering around just as, are they going to run into him? Who's going to get killed?
Yeah. Pam easily finds Sue and joins her by crawling underneath the table. Now, again, I get how this game might work and even be a little bit of fun due to the fact that it's supposed to be played in complete darkness, pitch black. I get then, yes. However, there's so much light during this scene that it makes 0 sense, and it's completely unbelievable that anyone would have any trouble finding someone during this game. Plus the fact that Sue is sitting right next to a fucking window that has so much moonlight coming in, it's just blasting the kitchen with light.
You can see the VO5 shine in her hair.
You can see everything, and it's supposed to be like, people are like, oh my god, I can't see. It's really poorly done.
I got no giggles for the VO5. That was a nice, awesome shampoo reference from the 80s.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I was letting the listeners laugh and enjoy that one.
Dude, I thought that was a home run.
Anyway, so Ralph finds her next, and he joins Pam underneath the table. So now we got Pam and Ralph hiding under the table with Sue sitting on top of it. We see Big Ed enter the house and creep his way into the kitchen. Seeing his legs and thinking it's Ed Jr., Ralph begins to reach out a hand to grab one of the legs, but Pam stops him. Big Ed walks over to and unlocks the door that Sue had locked, then creeps out of the kitchen. Now, how in the blue hell he doesn't see Sue sitting on the goddamn table is beyond me.
It's like they show him walk past her and you see her clear as day.
You see her, yeah, it's obvious she's right there. And Grant, she, for some reason, has her eyes closed, so that's why she doesn't freak out when she sees Big Ed. But he walks past her not once, but twice. But yet, Pam walked right up to her, like, there you are.
Yeah, as any normal human being with good vision would do.
So, I mean, it's, like I said, it's not pitch black. It's barely dark in this room at all. Anyway, Big Ed ducks off the screen right as Ed Jr. enters, but pops right back up with a large tire iron in his hand, raised up like he's ready to hit Ed Jr. over the back of the head with it. Ed Jr. enters the kitchen, followed by Big Ed, getting ready to hit him. But Jr. goes over to the fridge, opens it up, saying, any of you guys want a beer?
He knows where they're at.
With the quickness of a fucking cat, Big Ed is able to spin around and leave the room right as the light from the fridge fills the kitchen and surrounds all three. And the sound is like, oh, you found it. Oh, are heard. And then Big Ed sneaks out. He exits the condo as the group, they drink more beer. Pam voices her concerns over Mike and Linda for Mike and Linda being gone for so long, as they're gone.
This is about appropriate. I would agree with this. I would start to be like, all right, there's enough fuckery going around. What's going on?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's been long enough. But Ralph again tells her not to worry, that let's all just go upstairs, let's get ready for bed. They'll be back. Pam tells Ed Jr. that she's not, hey, I'm not putting out tonight, mister. You're not getting any. So back in the...
I'm very curious as to how long they've been together.
Yeah,
How long is he going to play this game?
Well, we don't know what year. I don't think they're freshmen. They could be seniors, and we don't know. It's the beginning of the semester. Yeah, we don't know. There's no indication of how long they've been together.
Yeah, because, man...
Waiting for a girl to put out that long.
Especially that early in your life, when you're in your early 20s.
When you're prime ready to go.
You're basically a walking hard-on.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a tough pill to swallow.
It is at that age.
That's tough.
It really is. So back in the garage, Big Ed spikes the cop's head onto the wall. He's
got his trophy room going.
Yeah, he puts the cop's head onto a spike, and then he uses an elaborate pulley system to hoist up the cop's dead torched body, and then he props it up underneath the decapitated head to put him back together again in the trophy closet of death. And then he retreats back to his sleeping closet.
Time to go back to bed.
That has Linda's panties hanging on it still.
It's his other trophy.
Yeah. Sue convinces Ralph to go look for Mike. Because Sue and Ralph are also together, by the way. We haven't mentioned that. To go out look for Mike and Linda by suggesting that he will get to see her tits when he gets back. And now, ladies and gentlemen... The movie turns into a fucking Benny Hill episode.
Totally. Dude, I like how we were both on the same page right there.
The tape is sped up as Ralph hops off the bed, puts on a shirt, rushes out of the bedroom like a giddy little boy on Christmas morning, complete with a jazz hands exit. Yeah. He looks back at the camera like, jazz hands! Ah! And then he closes the door.
I'm waiting to hear a bicycle horn.
What the fuck was that? Why is that in this movie? Again, that's a fucking
slapstick.
National Lampoon slapstick college comedy.
And it's totally out of nowhere because they don't do anything like that before, and they don't do anything like that since.
No, it's so fucking weird. And again, it's starting to get a flow. It's building, and then you get this. And
it takes you right out of it.
What the fuck? Breaks. Yeah, all flow. I totally agree. It was the stupidest. I don't understand this at all.
I kind of liked it.
Did you really? Yeah. Fuck you. Shut the fuck up,
because I was like, he's going to see tits. He's excited.
Jesus Christ. All right.
Man, I took you out of it now.
You did. Like that.
That's the wind out of your sails.
I'm disappointed in you.
Fine. I'm okay with that.
Ralph tells Ed Jr. and Pam that he's going to lock up downstairs and he's going to going out looking for Mike and Linda one more time. He heads outside to the beach, calling out for them. He calls out for them one time. one time before heading back up the counter. Was like, fuck it, I'm going back inside.
Well, that's good on him.
Yeah.
Dude, that's about the same amount of effort to be like, well, you know what? I tried. Let's go see them titties.
Same with the old college try. He stops midway up the stairs and then heads down to the garage calling out for Mike and Lenny. So
he's like, well, let me check the garage.
Yeah. So now the lights in the garage won't turn on. He stands there trying to get Mike and Linda to come out from wherever they're hiding because he's convinced they're hiding in here. Ralph finds Linda's panties still on the closet doorknob, so he picks up the pyramid zinger, throws it at the closet door, like thinking they're in there, which that's just fucking dangerous and clear. That's the shit. Like, what if that went through the door? Again, that sounds like something one of our friends would have done back in fucking 98, would have thrown something at one of us.
Sure.
Fucking dicks. Anyway,
Are you looking at me like I'd be the one throwing it at you?
No. I won't say who, but I have some people in mind who that would be.
There's a couple on your short list.
Yeah. So the noise of the pyramid zinger hitting the door wakes Big Ed up again, who's
Dude,
sleeping.
he's passed out again.
This guy just is like, what was it?
Narcoleptic?
Insomniac or not insomniac?
Narcoleptic?
Narcoleptic. He just passes out all the time.
Dude, killing takes it out of you.
I guess so, man.
Man, plus he's been drinking for who knows how
how
long.
long.
How fucking hungover is he? He's
Yeah.
like, oh god, I'm getting nauseous.
That's why he's killing people. He's like, I'm fucking hungover. Just let me sleep.
Gotta sleep this off.
He won't let me sleep. I have to kill you. Or maybe that's why he's in the closet, because it's the darkest room. No light gets in there, and you're
Yeah.
already hungover. You just don't want the light, man.
Yeah.
I think we just put a whole new spin on this movie. I want
think we
to
did.
uncover this a bit more. So
Okay.
maybe Ed, he's not so much crazy. Maybe he's a bit crazy, but he's on his, because all those booze bottles were his that he's gone through.
He's more cranky than crazy.
Yeah, he's just severely fucking hungover because he went through like 12 bottles of scotch and Jack Daniels over the last few days. He went on a binge, and now he's passed out. These college kids keep coming up to him, interrupting him his hangover. He's pissed off, and he's like, "Fuck!" And so he snaps a bit, and he can't think straight in his hangover. So he's like, "Fuck it!" He kills him, and he's just trying to go back to sleep and sleep off his hangover, but he keeps getting interrupted. I think this is what the movie's
you might be onto
about.
something.
I think we found something here.
Yeah. I feel like killing people when they wake me up sometimes.
Yeah, it's like when you're hungover, like all you want to do is like, yeah, I've had that. I felt that rage. Like I want to fucking kill you. Just
It'd
to
be
shut
awesome
you
if he
up.
just woke up and like dry heaved and threw up a little bit, like when he first got up, like kill. That'd have been like, I like this guy.
You see him popping some Tums or something, or
just like guzzle some water.
Gatorade getting those
Yeah.
electrolyte. Oh, Gatorade probably wasn't around. When did
Yeah,
Gatorade
maybe,
come out?
maybe.
I don't remember when Gatorade came out, but yeah,
Well, yeah, Alka-Seltzer.
Alka-Seltzer. Yeah, there we go. Pop, pop, fizz, fizz. Oh, what a relief it is. Where was I? Oh yeah, Big Ed wakes up from the pyramid zinger hitting the door. So Ralph hangs the panties back on the doorknob, still talking as if Mike and Linda are in the closet. He picks up a hammer and a nail, like he's gonna hammer. He's gonna nail the door shut and lock them in. But he does have a change of heart at the last moment. Instead he opens the fucking door and he hits a fucking trident through the neck.
Yeah.
Like a legit Poseidon trident through the neck.
Release the Kraken! Wow!
And Big Ed then lifts Ralph off the ground by the trident that's through his neck and then hangs Ralph to the inside part of the door to his murder trophy closet.
Pierces the trident to the wall
Yeah.
through his neck and twists off the
Takes
handle.
the handle off, leaving just the metal forked barbed trident prongs on the door through
through the neck
through
of...
Ralph's neck, hanging from the closet murder death closet door.
Pretty awesome.
It is pretty awesome. Like, and he takes the shaft off so he can close the closet door.
It's just there's not enough room. I need to take this off. There we go. Handy guy. This Big
again,
Ed.
I gotta say the kills are so the fucking murder weapons are insane. Like you
Yeah.
don't see these like a fishing motorboat, a outboard motorboat, a battle axe, and a trident.
A chunk of wood was
A
used.
chunk of wood. Like again, okay, now we have a battle axe and a trident. These are weapons gladiators used in the arenas.
Yes, they had a net. I wish he
net
would have
and a
used the
trident.
net somehow.
He should have tossed a net, let Ralph run, threw the net on Ralph, and then kill him with the trident.
Yeah.
That would have been like
Total
gladiator
gladiator,
right
yeah.
there. Yeah. Expect him to open up another door and a lion's gonna jump out. We cut to Sue.
Are you not entertained?
We cut to Sue. She's in bed reading, waiting for Ralph. She gets tired of waiting, so she gets up, leaves the bedroom, heads downstairs. She goes outside looking for Ralph while we see Big Ed enter through the kitchen doorway, the back door, the kitchen door. Pam wakes up hearing that, tries to wake up Ed Jr., but he's out cold. Big Ed takes the ginormous gaff hook off the wall as Pam gets out of bed. She opens a door to one of the other bedrooms, and she gets hit in the face by a stuffed dummy that Ralph had apparently left as a prank.
Oh, you prankster.
So Big Ed then creeps out of the house with the gaff hook, and Pam goes to wake up Ed Jr., telling him that everyone's missing. She forces him to get up and to help her look for the others.
Now, this is where they start to kind of panic.
Yeah.
They're starting to like, oh, this shit's getting real.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sue is outside in her nightgown being stalked by a Big Ed. But she goes back inside. She gets back inside the house, and she bumps into Pam and Ed Jr. They send her upstairs to get dressed. This
this is where they start getting panicked.
Something's not right. Get dressed. We're going.
Yeah, we're out of here.
Pam gets her coat so they can all leave, and that's when she notices the back door is open. Sue convinces him to take one last look for the others, despite Pam's like, "Fuck that. We need to get out of here."
Yeah.
But she's like, we can't. One more look.
Dude.
Famous last words.
Yeah,
man.
exactly. I'm just like,
get in the car and go.
I'm like, dude.
Yeah. Just go. So, of course.
This is where I felt like yelling at the screen. I'm like, bitch, get out of there! Get out of there, bitch! Like, that part of me started coming out.
So, what do they do? And, of course, they decide to split up.
Of course.
Of course. Pam and Ed go around the house one way, leaving Sue alone to go the other. So, guess what happens here, people?
As soon as they split up.
The second Sue rounds the corner. She rounds the corner, and bam, she gets grabbed by Big Ed. He has her by the neck, and with one hand, this normal 50-year-old hungover man lifts her off the ground. And not just inches. We're like 3 feet off the ground. He lifts her into the air.
It's the power of Schlitz.
And with his other hand, he raises the battle axe up, but instead of killing her, he just basically forces her into the garage, where he uses the axe like to sweep and knock everything off of his workbench. And he forces Sue down to the workbench, still only with one hand.
Kind of choke slams her in a way. Like a
Kind
slow
of.
motion choke slam.
Yeah, yeah. And again, this fucker must be the world's strongest 50-year-old man. He has to be like a secret superhero or something.
Hungover man.
Hungover man. There we go. There's the superpower. He's hungover man. Boo. Yeah.
He's powered by booze.
Powered by hangover, I guess.
That's how he gets his power. It's from hangover.
He has to be hungover to get his superpower. Can you imagine if that was your superpower? The only way you get superpowers is if you're hungover.
Dude, I'd be pretty invincible.
But would it be worth it? Like, God, because I get epic hangovers. I hate my hangovers. When I get them, it's like, God, I don't know if that'd be worth it.
Mine are pretty bad, but I just power
Hangover,
through.
man.
I power through, man. I just keep going. I feel sick. I've thrown up a few times. Like, keep going. Must have brunch.
Hangover man, he drops the axe and he picks up the gaff hook. And when he does this, he actually completely lets go of Sue.
Yeah.
There's now nothing nor anyone holding Sue down, but for some godforsaken reason, she doesn't get up and run away or even try to get up and struggle. She just lays there on the workbench.
The alcohol fumes from his breath. They're suppressing her body. They're just holding her down. It's part of his power.
So Big Ed then runs the gaff hook down her body to her crotch and in between her legs.
It's like this like slow going, moving, sexy, like whoa,
Yeah.
whoa.
Where
easy, Big Ed.
Yeah, and this is where he turns the hook so the barbed point is pointing up towards her vag. He then uses 2 hands. He yanks the hook upward
Violently.
The barbed pointy end impales her through the vagina. Big Ed continues to yank the hook up towards her head while turning it upwards. So we see the hook's barbed tip rip through and come up out of her
stomach area.
Right through her belly button, which pretty much turns Sue into like a human worm on a fish hook.
Yes, very good description.
And still not finished with that, Then Big Ed picks up the battle axe and chops off her head just for good measure.
I love the scene, the graphic nature of it. It's really good.
So graphic.
I was a little bummed she didn't scream at all. She's like, ah!
She did. I mean, she screamed, but yeah, it wasn't like a. It was more like a. It was like a pain.
Yeah.
I wasn't too bummed by her performance because it was just a different type of scream. It wasn't a screaming like in terror. It was like where you're screaming in pain, but it's so much pain like you could be like ah. Like
yeah, that's the kind of pain I feel when I have a giant turd. You know, I'm just like. Oh.
I kind of see where you're going, but I wasn't. It didn't really stand out too much to me in that scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, it again, insane kill. Just again, another original. Giant fucking fish hook through the vagina.
That's a funny sentence to say.
Yeah, I never thought I'd say that one before.
Giant fucking fish hook through the vagina.
Wow.
That's a first in my life, I think.
Yeah.
You heard it here.
Definitely a first. So we cut back to Pam and Ed Jr. They come back to the garage and they go inside. They spot Sue on the workbench. When Pam goes up to her, like Sue, touches Sue on her arm. Sue's head rolls off. Pam screams and tells Junior to cover Sue up with something.
Yeah, she's really panicking. She's doing a pretty good job
She's fine.
here.
Yeah. I was actually surprised she was in her panic. She's like had enough whereabouts to like cover her up and not just turn and run. Looking for something to cover Sue up with, he opens the murder closet and finds all the dead, mutilated bodies.
And then it's this double.
He grabs Pam and they start to leave, but they see the shadow of the killer, Big Ed, holding the battle axe, approaching the garage.
They are Fucksville.
Junior shoves Pam into the other closet, Big Ed's closet, to hide her, and he locks her in by wedging a board against the door, kind of jamming it. He then picks something up off the floor and ducks into the shadows. Big Ed, battle axe in hand, enters the garage. Junior pops up from the shadows, hitting Big Ed over the head with whatever it was he picked up. You don't really see it. But Big Ed barely fucking flinches because Hangover Man is impervious.
He is.
The two of them struggle, but Junior is quickly knocked to the ground, seemingly unconscious, out cold. So Big Ed then binds his son's feet and hands with rope or something.
It was tape.
Was it tape? Okay.
Yeah, he like tapes him up.
Okay.
Yeah, he has like this fucking roll of duct tape all of a sudden.
Yeah. So he basically
he had this workbench. I mean, I don't
yeah,
mind
it's a garage.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. He picks up his axe and is about to fucking behead Junior when Pam bursts out of the closet screaming, "Leave him alone!" And she starts just throwing everything she can.
Random shit she can find.
Junior wakes up. Big Ed stabs Junior in the leg with like the spiked tip.
I love this part because he's like, no, run! And he's just like, shut up. Whap!
Yeah, he does. He just stabs.
It wasn't like a violence, just like enough to go, you know. But it's like it stabs him and he goes. All this blood just comes gushing.
Oh, it's like
this.
Yeah, the blood effects are pretty good in this movie, I gotta say. So yeah, and then he turns his attention back to Pam. Pam's still throwing anything and everything she can get her hands on at Big Ed.
What does she find?
One of these happens to be the pyramid zinger.
The zinger!
Which she throws, and it gets lodged in the side of Big Ed's temple. Like, right in his temple.
With such force.
So he's got this big metal pyramid sticking out of his head. And still barely bothered by this at all. He just reaches out and plucks it out and just drops it.
He staggers a little bit, you know.
Barely. It's like you're. Like, I think he would flinch more if he plucked a nose hair or something like that. Than he pulling this thing out of his head.
You know, when you're hungover, nothing wakes you up more than plucking a few nose hairs. That gets your eyes open. Done that trick before.
So Pam then finds like a fishing knife in a drawer. She arms herself with it. She charges Big Ed like a madman, stabbing him in the chest with the knife. The two of them struggle a bit. And here, this is, again, you would think this is where the judo throws or someone would come in and...
Right. That'd be a perfect opportunity.
Nope. She just, they struggle, but it looks at this point more like they're slow dancing. They're just like holding each other. It's kind of like slowly spinning, and it's like junior high slow dancing. They're just kind of
it's not the like eternal embrace. It's not like the struggle or the
they're not like around the neck or anything. It's not choking each other. They're just holding each other and kind of spinning in a circle really slowly. Finally, Big Ed falls to the floor, dead.
That'd be a perfect opportunity for her to be like, wow!
Yeah,
You know,
like
and
use-
judo toss.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He partially lands on Junior, who wiggles his way out from underneath
Get
his
off
father.
me!
He's like, get off!
He's really winding it up.
Pam cuts Junior free as more tranquil, peaceful piano music starts to play. She helps him hobble over to the car. They get in. Pam locks the doors and rolls up the windows, which is smart, and I like that they did that. You know, I'm glad they showed that. The two of them hug, they cry, and in just a superb, brilliant display of bad acting. It's so bad in this scene with them. Pam tries to start the car, but of course it won't start. So Ed Jr.'s just like, give it a minute. You flooded the engine. Just wait a minute. So they sit there and talk. As they're talking, we can see through the car windshield as Big Ed gets up and limps over to the car.
Just lumbers.
Pam uses a handkerchief and Ed Jr.'s belt to like cover up and make a tourniquet on the spear hole basically in his leg. She then goes to turn on the car again, and she turns the headlights on. She turns them off to save the battery power, but that's when she notices
Big Ed's body.
Yeah, Big Ed's body is gone. She frantically tries to start the car again. That's when Big Ed pops up on top of the car, battle axe in hand. He begins to chop his way through the convertible's top, screaming and looking like a complete madman. He's like, his facial look on this is crazy.
He is going for broke.
Yeah, he is. He reaches through the roof, grabs Junior by the neck. Pam uses the cigarette lighter to burn Big Ed's hand, force him to release Junior. And the burn from this cigarette lighter is insane.
Hey, man, they don't make them like they used to. They don't make them anymore at all.
This burn is seriously insane. Like, it's not like just like a little circular burn. Like, she burns it and like almost like drags it down.
Burn and smear.
Like
it's
like
smears.
His skin like rips, like melts off of him. Or it's so weird.
Yeah, that's the way I could describe it. It's just like smearing your hand across icing or something like that.
Yeah,
it, like, smears. Yeah,
yeah. Like if your skin was icy, and you just ran a finger through it. That's what. Like
it's still a good effect,
Yeah.
But man, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I had a cigarette lighter in my first car. I had a
I
cigarette
think we
lighter in
all
my
did.
second car.
Every car I've ever had has a cigarette lighter. Every car I've ever had has had a cigarette lighter.
Your current car still has a cigarette lighter in it?
Yes, it doesn't work right now, but it does.
Holy shit! Like no, there's does it have the actual
Yes,
little
it's a
piece?
cigarette. Yes, it's a cigarette
that you can
lighter.
put a cigarette. Wow.
Yes, it just the fuse on it doesn't work, but yes, it was an actual cigarette lighter.
Whoa.
Baller. So, Pam starts the car up. It starts up. She throws in reverse and then quickly back into drive. This sends Big Ed flying off of the car. Before she drives away, Pam spots a police car pulling up.
Yeah, the police are awesome. They look at her like, what the heck's going? Oh, you can tell they're just like,
God damn, we actually have to do something.
Oh, this is not going to be a good night.
Yeah. She screams out for help. The cops get out of the car as we see
slowly.
As we see Big Ed using the battle axe, which he has embedded into the top of the trunk of the car to pull himself up like he was the fucking T-1000, man.
Yeah.
This is straight out Terminator 2.
It really is.
It's like Robert Patrick like pulling himself up on top of the cop
This is
car.
where James Cameron got the idea.
Yeah, maybe
he's just like, it's a great scene in the Mutilator when he got run
just
run
replace
over.
the battle axe with the liquid metal arm. Yeah.
Pulls himself up.
Seeing this, Pam throws the car back in reverse, slams on the gas. She rams the car into a wall made out of cinder blocks.
Which
Big Ed, finally, this makes Big Ed scream out in pain.
And it was epic. His eyes get so big and his lips, he just looks so stupid. Yeah. He looks like fucking Archie Bunker. Oh!
His body's crushed. Junior cries out and cries in the front seat saying, "That's my dad!" Like, no shit.
Just now realizing this.
One of the cops pops up, telling Pam to, just pull forward. Pull forward. We got
Ed is seemingly dead.
Yeah, he's
on
draped
the hood
on the
of
trunk.
Draped on the trunk. Just squished like a bug. Pull forward.
I love this so much. She pulls forward, and when she does, we see Big Ed's lower half, his legs just fall to the ground in a wet, bloody thud.
Splat. And his torso falls to the side, still clinging to the battle
Still
axe.
holding the axe. You see the intestines plop out, blood's pouring everywhere. But still alive. Big Ed's upper half is, like I said, still gripping the fucking battle axe. Pam and Junior hug some more, thinking it's over. We cut back to Big Ed, which I guess we can't call him Big Ed anymore.
He's just Ed.
And anyways, one of the cops walks up to the two halves of Big Ed, when suddenly, somehow, like I said, still hasn't bled out yet. He's still alive. Big Ed grabs the cop by the ankle in one hand, and in the other hand, somehow manages to swing the battle axe in one fluid chop. Just chops the cop's leg.
Slices it right off.
Clean
Clean as could be.
all while laughing like a fucking madman.
He's like, this is my last chance. Gotcha.
He's like,
I loved it so much.
I know, it's so insane.
So nuts.
The cop falls to the ground, clutching his bloody, bleeding
Screaming.
stump. Big Ed continues to laugh as he chops the axe down into the dirt, you stab him
I'm
with the dirt.
done.
And the laughter,
Check, please.
the laughter fades away as he slowly dies. But god damn, what a way to go to how the fact that his upper torso is still alive to cut a cop's leg off before you die, just as basically a fuck you.
That's the most baller death we've
But the
seen in a
problem is,
while.
How would you be able to? I understand maybe be able to move an arm, grab the leg, but how? There's no way you can. I think you can swing the axe. I think that would take core strength. And since your core has been cut in half,
pretty much gone.
You have no core. How would you be able to swing the axe?
Unless he's holding with that one.
any force.
Unless he's got a good grip with that one arm to stabilize himself, and
maybe
it's possible.
Or that axe, the axe is fucking like adamantium,
Yeah.
or like Jason Voorhees' Mache from Jason X,
Dude, he's Hangover Man.
He is Hangover Man. Not anymore. No. But he was. It took a lot to take down Hangover Man.
Yeah, it did. Fucking it did.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I know.
You cut him in half, and he's still going.
Like,
Holy shit.
Jason has taken less damage and died in movies than this guy has.
It's like some zombie shit right there.
So we cut to Junior coming out of a hospital room. He's in a hospital robe. He walks up to some nurse by a door, and he's like, how is she? The nurse says, she's about the same, whatever. Junior enters the room where we see Pam sitting in a chair. She rests his hand on his arm as he stands next to her. The two of them look out the window as more peaceful music plays. Blackout, roll credits.
And that's where we get another
Fall break. And it's the entire song.
Takes you right out of any sort of
yeah.
like fear or like relief or anything. It's just like time to get wacky again, guys.
Yeah, it is. Time for fall break.
Oh my god.
Along with the credits,
it's like a kick in the nuts at the very end. You're like, oh, boom, oh, fall break. Oh, god damn, why'd they play that song? Oh.
As the credits roll, we do get some bloopers play for each person in the cast, sort of. Some are bloopers, some are just them like just showing the same other scenes again. Some are kind of bloopers of them messing up. Anyway, it doesn't really matter.
When they do show Big Ed, he's just holding the
boat
propeller
motor. He's like,
at the camera, like, I'm crazy.
Yeah. So all right, that's the Mutilator. Let's move on to favorite kills.
Don't act like you didn't love it. Favorite kill.
I'm excited about favorite kills this week because this movie is filled with great, except for Linda drowning in the pool. Everything else in this movie is awesome.
Oh yeah,
I gotta say this movie has some of the best kills I've ever seen
in a long time. I mean,
in a very long time.
Any one of these kills would probably be one of my favorite kills in any
other movie. I know this movie is like an all-star of favorite kills. Like exactly, like it's gonna be tough.
You can tell they sacrificed a lot of story, but they fucking made up for it in kills.
Yeah, I agree. So. It's tough, man. What do you got this week?
I'm gonna have to go with I think it's Mark getting killed with
Mike,
the fish propeller.
Yeah, the boat propeller.
The propeller, because that was one. It was very graphic, and it was so long and
died.
weird, and he's screaming, to go, oh, Look at his watch.
Look at his watch, yeah.
Order some food on his phone. Well, that was before phones, but
He's
so
like, I
good.
gotta be on screen at least 30 more seconds. Get my SAT card.
Yes, Take that deep breath. Think about the insurance. Think about the insurance. Think about the insurance. Oh! It's my favorite kill.
It's a great one, man.
There's so many good ones.
I loved them all. Like, I mean, they're all so good.
Big Ed's. I mean, come on.
Big Ed's alone is awesome. Like,
Jesus.
kid. I really like Sue. The fish hook for the vagina was fucking brutal and a first. But actually, I'm torn with Mike too. Like the boat motor is insane.
It's so
it's
ridiculous.
so crazy, and it is.
But it still works.
Yeah, in this movie it works. Oh God. I love Sue's the fish hook through the vagina. In any other movie, that would be my favorite kill. It's so good. But I gotta go through the boat motor. It's so fucking crazy and just insane and over the top that it takes it for me. But just barely, because everything, the cop, Sue, like they're all good kills. So yeah, well, I agree with you. I would say Mike,
Okay,
but
wow,
it's close, very
I'm
very
surprised.
close.
But it's such a shame that like this movie has all these great kills.
I know. It's like I want to say Sue because another kill deserves it. But really, I think that is my.
I mean, we just went crazy by the Big Ed kill too.
Yeah,
the kills are great.
Kills are awesome in this movie. All right, so let's move on to odds and ends.
Not only did they watch these films, they researched them too. Ugh, what is wrong with these guys?
All right, ratings. IMDb gives it a 5.3 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes there is no thermometer score, but it only has a 25% audience score.
That seems low.
Amazon gives it a 3.3 out of 5. Plot keywords. There were 147 plot keywords.
Wow.
A lot of them were very similar. I wrote down ones that I thought were a little weird, like I always do. First one was car won't start. That being a plot keyword. It's the first time I've seen that. In the horror movies, it's the first time I've seen this. The next two make me question them because the next two are black comedy and dark comedy. And I don't see how this is not a comedy in any. What dark comedy really is, this is not.
Maybe it's because of that fucking song.
Maybe. Maybe, but there's really no humor. Ralph is supposed to be the funny prankster guy, but even that's not that fun. It's not that funny. There's no. I don't understand why those should not be. I don't agree with those at all. Then another plot keyword was jeans. Just jeans.
Lots of blue jeans. Lots of blue jeans.
Natural light beer, Natty Light.
Fuck yeah, dude!
Because all they drink is Natty Light.
That was like the first thing we said. Yeah. Natty Light.
Natty Light. Budweiser.
There is one.
Cooler.
Yes.
Urinating on ground is a plot keyword because apparently people want to see that in a movie.
There is.
And the last two, attempted child murder is always a pleasure, and slitting the throat of a child made a plot keyword.
Child murder we've had, attempted child, but slitting the throat of a child.
Very detailed.
Ooh.
Who's out there writing that into their search?
You said there were 147.
147.
I'm kind of curious.
Sadly, panties was not one again.
Wow.
And it's predominantly featured.
Yeah, it's almost like a booby trap. It's almost like bait.
Yeah, it really is.
Like the panties are bait.
I'm not taking this bait. No, I'm not taking that one.
No.
Where are our panty lovers? Guys, you are letting me down.
I know.
This is like the third or fourth movie in a row we haven't had panties.
I'm so surprised.
I'm getting angry at this. Like, I want my panty lovers back.
You panties lovers are slacking.
You are slacking hard.
Get on those plot keywords and get the panties back out there. Come on, you bastard, you perverts.
All right, trivia. The film was released theatrically in two versions, first unrated and later in an R version. Like we already said, it was originally called Fall Break, but was changed to the video release for marketing reasons to The Mutilator. Again, because I guess Fall Break wasn't intimidating enough, or people didn't know what they were gonna get. So like, according to director Buddy Cooper, the car featured in the movie, I'm guessing the convertible, was sold shortly after production wrapped and wrecked by the new owner about 3 days later. Director cameo, Buddy Cooper is the bloody dead man in the photograph that we talked about.
Oh, nice.
They poured milk into the swimming pool to make the water more murky. My printer ran out of color ink and didn't print out. But the woman who played the mom, whatever her name is, she stepped in at the last minute to play the mother in the opening scene after the original actress in the role decided not to play the part for religious reasons, which is what? Somebody's got to stick up their ass.
I guess he didn't want to be associated with the fucking Mutilator, which is...
Well, at that time would have been Fall Break.
It's true. It's a wacky good time.
Yeah. Linda was originally supposed to be killed by a spear gun, not the fish hook. Wait, no. Linda was drowned. She
Yeah.
should have been killed with a spear gun. That would have been much better.
That would have been much better.
It was shot in 29 days in chronological order, and the climax was shot in a single night. In the script, Big Ed was supposed to be killed when he's ripped in two by a turnstile bridge. It's why it was changed. Well, there's conflicting reasons why. There were two different reasons, so I just put them down. One, the stunt was deemed too dangerous, and the death scene was rewritten and two, the sequence was ultimately shelved because the filmmakers couldn't get access to said drawbridge. So, whichever one you want to take.
I'm kind of leaning more towards
number
latter.
two. Yeah. So that's all I got for trivia. But we do get to go into. I'm so glad we get to do it. We get to play the budget game this week.
Sweet.
They spent how much? The budget game.
All right. Budget. Aaron, what do you guess is the budget for the 1984, 85? Where we go? We're gonna go on 85, I guess. Whatever. Early 80s. Mutilator.
29 days, no name actors, one and dones, basically. Fucking great effects, honestly. Good effects. Beach location, 29 days, 1980s, lots of natty light. $150,000.
All right, $150,000. Well, you came in under budget this week. Budget for the Mutilator, $450,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
I suck at this game.
I'm actually impressed. Normally, I thought you were going to go over. I really thought you were going to go way over, but you came in way under.
Part of me was thinking 300,000. I was like, ah.
All right, with that,
It's tough to.
yeah,
It's just tough because when you see something like Pork Chop, where there's bloody and guts and all kinds of stuff, and I guess things have gotten cheaper, or we've learned from people like who've done Mutilator how to make.
Honestly, things have gotten more expensive, but indie movies are finding. Yeah, it's real
clever ways to get around it.
I don't envy you. It's a tough job for you. It's tough for you to do.
Thank you. It is tough.
It is tough.
It is tough to be wrong every fucking week.
Almost every week. Yeah,
it's really tough.
But you know what? You stick with it.
Stick with it.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Let's move on to 5-star reviews.
These special movies have a place in these special people's hearts. 5-star reviews.
All right, from Deborah Oddroyd or whatever. Unfortunately, there's not much in the way of nudity, but the nudity you do get is very sweet. The guys are cool, relatable, and some are funny, and the women are gorgeous, smoking hot, and really loyal to their friends as much as the guys are. 5 stars.
Aw. It's all about the camaraderie for him.
Yeah, for her.
Or her, pardon me.
From a customer. I know these actors. This was filmed in my town. I lived in the home in the opening scene. It's a pretty good movie. 5 stars.
I love those. Those are like my favorite reviews.
Yeah.
I lived in the home in the opening scene. It's okay.
From Josh Willard. Apparently, Aaron, like I said, show you, he just put a smiley face down.
Yes, he
5
did.
stars.
Just an emoji, smiley face.
And from Stephanie Bailey writes, Amazeballs! 5 stars.
I like that one. That may be my favorite.
All right, this one is a little long, but it's but we're gonna go through it. From Robert Balducci Jr., he writes, first of all, I have to ask, is fall break a thing? I've heard of spring break, winter break, and summer break, but fall break, is it like Thanksgiving break? Holy shit, this guy said exactly what I just said.
I know.
Holy fuck.
Did we find out where you got your material from?
Fucking A. Anyway, I don't know why it even matters because nothing in this damn movie makes any sense. Why would a group of kids want to travel to a beach house in fall when it's too cold to go swimming? Oh wait, there is a random pool there with a heated bubble over it. That explains it. And why would Bill's dad lure his son to be slaughtered after years of being a highly functioning alcoholic who regularly hangs out with his drinking hunting buddies? I can't answer these questions, but there is one question you're probably wondering that I can't answer. excuse me, why should I watch this film? Well, the answer is gore. For all the film's nonsensical shortcomings, the gory bits are expertly done. Not to say that's all it has going for it. The characters are goofy, and though I wouldn't call them lovable or really even likable, I don't hate them. That's good, right? Above all, this film is a perfect example of a first and only time filmmaker getting some money together with a bunch of first and only time actors or relatives and making a fun, silly horror movie. That's all it is. That's all it should be. And if you take it more seriously, then you're missing the point. 5 stars.
He's got a good point.
He does have
he
a good...
kind of hits it right in the head. You should listen to our show.
He should. But, not to be outdone, there are plenty of 1-star reviews, too. From Mad Monk 12, just writes poor acting, bad script, terrible movie, 1 star. Panza writes terrible. J.D. Molson, just don't. From Woof Woof, the only worthwhile thing about this movie is the horrible, horrible opening theme song, Fall Break. Hilarious. 1 star.
Ooh, I don't like this guy.
And from Bradley Oots, I don't know. There is nothing good about this movie. It's boring, not scary, not much gore, terrible acting, terrible soundtrack that doesn't even fit the story, very ugly actresses, and not even any unintentional comedy. There's no mystery about who the killer is, and the killings are clumsily staged and badly filmed. Nothing ever happens until well past the halfway mark, and the blood even looks fake. To waste a high-quality release on a crap movie like this on this one is criminal. I advise fans of slasher films to stay away from this movie, made by idiots who do not even have a rudimentary knowledge of filmmaking, scriptwriting, or even how to use a camera. They probably got high, bought a cheap camcorder, and skipped high school one day to make their movies. This is one of the worst 80s slasher films and among the worst horror movies of all time. As a viewer, I'm insulted that this kind of garbage gets released. 1 star. Get off your high horse, Bradley Utz. It's not that bad.
Utz can suck my nuts.
Yeah.
God damn.
I like that.
That was brutal.
It was really brutal.
That was too much, Utz.
I agree with you.
Utz is a putz.
Now it's for our 2 cents. Aaron, what do you got this week?
I'm going to stick it in fucking Putz's ear. I'm going to say so bad it's good.
So bad it's good.
So bad it's good. Now, don't get me wrong. It's an 80s slasher movie. There's better ones out there. There's other ones that I might like a little bit more. But at the end of the day, I forget one of the guys in the review already said it. It's the gore. It's the kills. The kills are so good. I mean, we have the 3 Bs. We have the beer. We got the babes. But we really got the fucking blood.
You do get some boobs.
Holy shit, man. The blood is great. I mean, the effects are good. The kills are unique and individual. Yeah, I mean... It's the sound is shit. The song is the worst. The acting's not great. There's a lot that's not great about this movie, but at the end of the day, it's the kills, man. It's the kills. They're so good and so much fun. And we watched so many fucking horror movies and seen so many different types of kills. I mean, that's one of the main things we have going when we watch these movies is the unique and individual representation of how you can kill someone. And they fucking nail it. They do really good, especially for early 80s. Well done. Check it out. Like I said, it's not going to be the best 80s slasher you've ever seen, but it's going to be fun to see people get killed.
Well said. I agree. I'm too saying so bad it's good. I think this is like a maybe kind of oft forgotten about slasher kind of maybe gets lost in the
shuffle.
The shuffle. Yeah, there's so many of them. I was expecting a lot worse based on the opening and then that goddamn Fall Break song. But yeah, I don't think it's paced that badly. I mean, I've seen other ones that are much slower. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, you have to have some, in the first 20, 30 minutes, but that's, building up, people getting to the location and setting everything up. So but once things start, I wasn't like, it seems to flow pretty. The only time I'm really taken out of the goddamn flow of the movie is when they do that stupid Benny Hill thing. Yeah. That I didn't like. But
I liked it.
But everything Aaron said, like the kills are really unique for its time, really fun. The gore's, I thought, pretty solid. The blood's solid. It's it's silly. Yeah, the writing's bad. The acting's bad, but I didn't care this movie. Normally I would care more, but this one I had fun with it. It was just a fun ride for me. And Hangover Man, Big Ed, Jesus Christ. That guy he's like a fucking Timex watch, man. He takes a lick and keeps on
fucking ticking.
So, Jesus. I say find it and watch it at least once. It's worth it. So bad it's good. That's going to do it for us for this week, guys. We'll be back next week with another movie. So in the meantime, guys, remember to always, remember to watch more horror movies, and for always
Yes, watch more.
watch more horror movies, and remember to always keep it tight.